Okay, welcome everybody to our 223rd Reading Online Sports Economics Seminar. We will, in a moment, have Julio Del Corral present Suspense, Surprise and Behaviour after eliminating the away goal rule by UEFA. Just before we start, a few notices to mention. As always, we're hosted by the University of Reading and we're sponsored by the Sports Economics Review. Sports Economics Review is also sponsoring the upcoming Sports Science First Central Asian Conference in Sports Science in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, April 28th and 30th. Do consider that conference in an unusual location, perhaps for the sports economics, sports science scene. More pressingly, there are deadlines, abstract submission deadlines coming up. So a week tomorrow is the deadline for the third workshop on sport economics and natural experiments at the University of Stirling, organized by Carl Singleton and Raphael Flepp. And I believe, no, Dennis, when's your deadline? I've lost track of it now.
It's officially March 1st, but
okay, I thought it was
basically it's until it fills up.
Okay, but send Dennis a abstract for his conference at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, Sports Economics and Management Conference, which is June the 9th to the 11th. Therefore, finishing on the day that the World Cup starts. Do consider that conference and send your abstracts to Dennis. April the 1st, a little bit further in the distance, is the deadline for the 20th Gijón Sports Economics Conference, which is May the 7th to the 9th in Gijón in Spain. And then other two of note are March the 21st, submission deadline for the Athens University of Economics and Business Sports Analytics Workshop, and March 31st, the abstract deadline for the European Sports Economics Association Annual Conference in Zurich. Without any further ado, Julio would like you to interrupt him as he goes along because he can't see any notifications from us. So if you have questions as he's going along, please do maybe raise your hand, but even though you can't see it, then raise your voice and interrupt him to ask questions. But Julio, the floor is all yours. Thanks very much for presenting.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much, not only for today, but for all these 5-6 years organizing this amazing series that it is my first time presenting, but I try to what?
About time we had you.
Yeah, big time. So thank you very much to James and for all of his team. This is my slide to present the paper. It's written by me, by Mary Elena Sánchez Gabarre from La Coruña, that I think that most of you now heard, and Javier Donoso, who is a former student, a former master student from my university. And none of them are able to be here. Mary is teaching some undergraduate classes, and Javier, I expect that he is taking some beers after a hard work in the Friday. He works for a very big company in Spain, and I expect to be here, to be right now having some fun with beers. Okay, so why I'm here? I'm here because James asked me some time ago, hey, Julio, you haven't presented at ROSES yet. I have some available slots this semester. Are you interested? Yeah, I said, yes. I recently supervised jointly with Mary a master's thesis on the AGF rule. And now I need a nudge to spend more time on it and try to get to publish in a journal. So ROSES seems to be perfect for that. And actually, it was because the last 15 days I was working on this paper, and these papers have been in my desk like 4 or 5 months, and I try to do some things, but I never have time. So this is a very big nudge. So thank you very much to James. So. The rule, the way goals rule, I guess that all the Europeans or all the people who loves soccer know which is the rule, but maybe some non-Europeans or some people that are not able to watch all the soccer are not able, doesn't know very well. Okay, the rule. If the aggregate score is equal after the 2 matches, the team that has scored more goals away from home from home advances to the next round. So that means if we have a tie 0-0, 0-0, it's going to be tie. If we have 0-0, 1-1, it's going to be to win the team that scored the 1 goal away. So that's an entire rule, quite easy to understand. Why it was established? It was established in the UEFA in the 60s, basically to avoid the third matches and complications, because you have to have some time to travel and some time to prepare this another match, and in the CONMEBOL in South America to avoid so many penalties, and moreover to promote more open game by incentivizing away teams to attack. And why was it abolished in the 2021? It was abolished by UEFA because they say, okay, since traveling is much better than in the 60s, in the pitch are really, really much better than in the 60s, in the 70s. So we think we have tested that the home advantage is lower. So this is one of the things that they say the UEFA, and these two things are explicitly what UEFA said. It now dissuades home team, especially in the first legs, from attacking because they fear conceding a goal. So that means that UEFA thought that the first team local was more encouraged not to attack but to defend their goalie. And lastly, there is also a criticism on the unfairness, especially in the extra time, of the obligating the home team to score twice when the away team has scored. Okay, you have the extra time. You know that if the away team score 1 goal, the home team has to score the two goals to win the tie. And UEFA said that is not fair, and we're watching, and that maybe it's even fairness that UEFA thinks. Okay. So the aims of this paper, we have five goals. Is UEFA right concerning the number of goals? Is UEFA right concerning the unfairness of the rule? And moreover, about suspense and surprise, you know that from Ailey, Frankel, and Kamenika, 2015, I think, the Journal of Political Economy, all of us are speaking quite a lot about the suspense and surprise thing of theory. And so it's a good setting to analyze whether the surprise and suspense has increased or not. And last but not least, what about other behavioral effects after removing the AGR? Some literature review previous to the removing of the AGR by the UEFA. We have a paper from Carlos, me, and Juan. This is a paper from the thesis of Carlos Varela, and that he's also not able to be here right now because he had to tour some students. In which we analyze the AGU rule using the natural experiment from the South America competitions. And moreover, we have this paper from the Argentinians from the Bamonde brothers, published in the journals for economics, that also use this setting, which is the main result from these papers. This is our main graph of this paper, in which we picture the percentage of victories for the visitors in the second leg. That is, if the percentage is 50%, it implies that which team is home or away, it doesn't matter too much. If the percentage is lower, it means that the home team in the second leg has some advantage, the also known second leg home advantage. And if it was over 0.5, the advantage team would be the home team in the first leg. We see that with no EGR, we have almost close to 15 years. It was lowered to 0.4, so it was a big advantage, a big second leg home advantage. In South America, in the CONMEBOL, was introduced the AGR in the 2005, so we have like 10 years of data. and we've seen an increase of the percentage of victories for the visitors in the second leg. It does not no, that is not 0.5, but it's closer to 0.5 than before. A similar result it was yes.
Sorry, in the no AGR regime, it would go straight to penalties, or there would be a third match. What was the?
In South America, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe they have penalties, but I'm not sure. Carlos Varela, if Carlos Varela will be here, I'm sure that he knows, but I don't know. I think that they went to penalties, but it's I think that we have the before the penalty, so I don't remember very. Some of the details you have in the paper.
Sure.
This paper it's like 10 years, so it's quite difficult to remember all of the details. So
okay.
From the Bamonte brothers.
Could I just also ask, when you say victories in the second leg, you mean literally in the second game, not victories in the two-legged contest?
Let me try to explain again. So we have the percentage of victories in the tie in the whole leg for the visitors in the second leg. So for instance, if you have Real Madrid, Atlético de Madrid in the first leg, and Atlético de Madrid, Real Madrid in the second leg, the home team in the second leg is Real Madrid.
Yeah, but but it's literally, so you might win the second leg, but you've lost the match overall, right? That's possible.
No, but this is not about the match. It's about the whole leg. Who advanced to the next round.
Right. So not victories in the second leg.
No victories in the second leg. No. It's percentage of victories maybe it's something that we need to improve our English. Is the percentage of victories for the visitors in the second leg, or the victories in the whole leg, not in the second match.
Percentage of teams progressing to the next round.
Exactly. Which teams progress to the next round? Exactly. That's it. Okay, thank you. And to the similar results, it was get by the Bamonte brothers. Closing the series at home has an intrinsic advantage, which is only countered, although not completely, by the impact of the AGR. Post UEFA, we expected to find more papers. I tried to look to find papers, and I only find two papers plus a working paper, plus some work here in Roses. So I think that that I expect to find more papers, since I believe, or we believe, that this is a relevant topic for economic research, and it's the data is quite easy to get, and I think that it can be done several things. So which paper we get from the post-UEFA removing AGR? Two papers from j.j.reade and Bildan, both in Journal of Policy Modeling, and one paper from David, Juan de Dios Tena, and Kościolek. I don't know how to, I guess it's Polish or something like that. And if my English is not very good, my Polish is even worse. Okay. They have a really nice working paper. From j.j.reade, one of the j.j.reade paper, they have the AGR has positively impact offensive game plans, notably when playing at home. A result that sadly differs from UEFA session, resulting in increase obtained by home teams and a greater number of offside flags for both the home teams and away. So it seems that UEFA is not always right. Moreover, from the other paper, they find that a modest second leg home advantage appears only when AGR is in effect without VAR. So they get some of second leg home advantage, but not very big. And lastly, from the paper from David and Juan de Dios and Kościolek, they get the removal of the AGR appears to have increased the chance of the stronger club progressing to the next round in the circumstance where it had been home first. Moreover, the change was successful in achieving its stated objective of increasing scoring rates by teams playing in their own stadium, it removed any disadvantage from being drawn to playing the first match at home. So they claim that there is no more second leg home advantage. And lastly, this is something that we got penalty shotouts become much more common. This is I think that all of the papers analyzing this issue, we are going to have that more extra time and more penalties are played. Moreover, we have a paper from Daniele, who I don't know whether he's here or not, that he presented here in ROSES. In one slide, he said, okay, from game theory, it is expected after removing the EGR 5 things. A large increase in ties decided in the extra time and on penalties, almost no effect on total goals scored in regular time, a moderate increase in the probability that underdog wins the tie, a little effect on the excitement index, lower in regular time but higher in the extra time, and a large reduction in comebacks. My last slide, or one of my last slide, tells you whether Daniele was right or not, and I can tell you that he was almost right in everything. The data that we have data from 445 ties from the season 2016 to the last one that was finished. We use data from the main team competitions. Actually, we also gathered the data from the female that at some point we are going to try to analyze. But at this point, we are only analyzing the main team competitions: UEFA Champions League, Europe League, and Conference League. And we have this data by semifinals, last 8, last 16, last 32. In the COVID season, we don't have the semifinals and last 8. And in the season 21-22, we only have 7 from the last 16 in the Europe League because the attack from Russia to Ukraine. So finally, we have 445 observations, or ties, or legs, or whatever you know. And the number of ties from AGR and no AGR. So we say that after removing, we label this as no AGR. We have quite similar number of observations, a bit more than 200. The empirical approach that we have, the first one is unconditional, so in some way descriptive statistics. We use contingency tables, kernel density, that is something that I love, bar graph showing also the average and the confidence interval for the average, for the mean, local polynomials, which is also the LA poly graph from Stata that I also love, hit plus, and some t-test to get the p-value. And the conditional, we have five models. The first one I call it model 0, in which we are going to have like 10 or 12 dependent variables. So we have the dependent variable, and we have the dummy about no AGR plus the error term. Okay, this is our model 0. We also have our model 1, what is the same model but plus some controls like run dummies and competition dummies. And it is important to say that all the models are estimated by OLS, even those with a dummy variable as dependent variables. I know you can use the probability model, the logic model, but since at this point I'm focusing on the marginal effect, is more easy. In the mean marginal effect is more easy to estimate an OLS, a linear probability model, if your dependent variables is discrete, and that's all. In this slide, I had to talk a little bit. We have the interaction of no AGR with some variables. Is related with the even on and even of the leg, or the probability of the first leg, or the probability from the home team on the first leg, and the probability of the favorite. We have the interaction of no AGR with these variables, the entropy. I'm going to explain a little bit how we could compute the entropy, and the probability from home team the first leg, and the probability of the favorite, plus this variable, the beta whatever, and the entropy, the probability of home first leg, and the probability of the favorite plus the controls. In order to get the entropy, and since we use data from the betting odds, from the probability from the betting odds, I try to normalize and to get the best age, the best entropy that I could, and I did the following. I get the normalizations of the probability of the home team in the first leg, and after normalizing this variable to get a zero mean and also variance zero, variance one, I'm sorry, you get you are able to get to compute the entropy, the p minus log minus is a formula quite easy to get. And as you see, if the probability of the home team is close to 0.5 or in this line, you have an entropy higher. That means that you don't know what's going to happen. Otherwise, if you have a probability of the home team close to 0.5 or close to 0.0, you almost know which is going to happen in the leg. How I compute the favorite. The favorite I make a probability estimates the favorite using only I compute a really easy probability model, whether with the probability of the home team in the first leg and whether it passes or not, and I try to see which probability of the home team in the first leg is going to change, which is the favorite. And I found that it was 0.47. So it was, if the probability of the home team in the first leg is 0.7, it's going to be the favorite. If the probability is lower, like 2.2 or 2.46, the favorite is going to be the away team in the first leg. Okay. And finally, similarly to our estimates in the paper from Carlos Varela and Juan Prieto in the International Journal for Finance about the common ball and results and so on, we introduce the quartiles from the probability of home teams in the first leg interacted with the no AGR. This is more easy to get the result because are some dummies, and it's quite easy to interpret. So, results. The first one is left or right concerning the number of goals. We have the kernel density for the total number of goals in the 180 minutes, so in the regular time, and we see that the number of goals are very similar. We have that the mean with AGR is 576, and with no AGR is 564. So it's even a bit lower with no AGR, but it's quite similar. Obviously, it's not significant. And if we divide in the 4 quartiles concerning the probability of the home team, we get also nothing, that all the kernel densities are quite similar. Nothing is significant. So if we estimate our models, we are going to have that we can see in the pictures. Nothing is significant. That so the number of goals has not changed with the AGR or with no AGR. But UEFA, strictly speaking, was about the home team in the first leg. We have this kernel density, and we have that the mean of with AGR, with the number of goals, is a bit higher with AGR. So we can see already that the UEFA was not true. We have the kernels from the 4 quartiles, and we can see that in the case of the higher probability from the home team in the quartile 4, actually is significant, the difference, but the difference, the number of goals was higher with the AGR than with no AGR. So UEFA was right? No. We here have this negative sign, and we have this negative sign significant, that is because this picture. And we have here almost all kind of goals, the total goals, home goals, team in first leg, home goals team in the second leg, goals away team, goals first leg, goals second leg, goals away teams, goals home teams. So all kind of combination of kind of goals. And you see that in all of them are pretty similar. We have the mean, we have the mean confidence interval, and in all of them they are pretty similar. Some of them the no AGR is a bit lower. In other of them, here for instance, with the no AGR is a bit higher, but there's nothing to be significant. Actually, I love this picture because you can see that the lines, the kernel densities are really the same. They look like really the same. Actually, I tried to make some picture by me and the same picture by myself. The difference is higher than here in this picture. So the question is, the number of goals has changed? No, the number of goals has not changed. So Daniele was right in the sense that the number of the total goals is almost the same. UEFA was not right in the sense that it is not true that the AGR dissuades home teams, especially in the first leg, from attacking because they fear conceding a goal since the number of goals is almost the same and even lower without AGR. So economics 1, UEFA 0. So we are kind of winning. We will see our final result here. The second aim of the paper, it is UEFA right concerning the unfairness of the rule? So, and in this I have to put the picture for the PhD thesis from Carlos. Is this a book chapter that it was published by Plácido in one of the wonderful conference in Gijón. We see here we have the evolution of USM on the percentage of victories from the home team in the second leg, in the victories in the whole time. This is from the data is from UEFA. Some of the years the pitch order was random, and some of the years in some runs the pitch is not random. But we see that in no year the average is 0.5, is always high. And I always say that I didn't believe that the second leg advantage was so big till I study it and I have the data and say, okay, the second leg home advantage is an issue. It's an issue, or it was an issue in the UEFA. We have this is also from the Varela from Carlos' paper. We have a marginal effect around 10 percentual points in almost all of our models. Also from Varela in the paper of the Common Ball, we have that there is no fair in the Common Ball. So what's happened here? Here in our data, we have with the AGR, a percentage of victories close to 59, and with no AGR is closest to 50, is 54. So we have a decline, but we have to take into account that this is not the pitch was not random, and usually the best team is going to play home at the second leg. So these figures have to take with some cases. We also have this percentage over the years, and we see here that we have a decline with no AGR, but we have 2 years of a large decline. This is the first years that the percentage of victories from the home team in the second leg is lower than 0.5, but we also have these 2 points from the last 2 seasons in which the percentage is almost the highest from our series. So we have to take into some cases this result. We have to analyze or analyze this data with more years, whether to see whether the next year is going to see something like this or something like this. If the next year is something like this, maybe the second leg home advantage is still in place, and if we have something like this, the second leg home advantage is no in place. So
Excuse me,
yeah,
Julio, can I ask can I ask a question? When
Yeah, sure.
does when was the UEFA rule adopted?
In here,
Yeah, the change.
the change,
there.
this part is AGR and this part is no AGR.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I have to add it here, like in this graph. Okay, so we have the opposite. This is with AGR, and here it was removed from the UEFA, and we have here no AGR, and we have these two strange data points that we have to check with longer data whether this was strange with an issue or what happened with here. And obviously, if we make our estimates with the dependent variable determined for victory wins of home team in the second league, we don't have nothing significant as predicted in the contingency table. The R square are really low.
Julio?
Yeah.
Going back to the previous graph.
Yeah.
Was crowd attendance fully back to normal in 21-22?
And that's a point.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I think that in some places it could be normal attendance, in some places no. So it could be something like that.
Okay, I think it's worth.
It's worth mentioning
because it's actually weird that 2021 was pretty much without crowd. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the matches were I think it was completely without any crowds.
Yeah.
And 21-22 was probably
in the middle,
like limited and
limited or something like that. It was a weird year for.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the first year after the COVID, or even with less attendance, the attendance was not so nausea. For sure, these 2 years could be different for some reason with other years. So that's my point, because if we have to check with longer data whether these 2 points are normal or whether these 2 points are because some COVID restriction or not COVID restriction, but after COVID something or something like that. Because if we are going to have these points, the second leg home advantage is going to be still in place for sure.
And sorry, another question. This includes all ties, including the ones in which the home order was not random.
Yeah, all the.
Okay.
That's something that in the website is quite difficult, but in our estimates we control by the quality of the team. We control whether the tie is expected to be even or not, and whether the home team the first leg is much better than the other team. But anyway, this is a robustness check that we have in mind to see what happened only in the matches in which the pitch is random. Okay. And this is slide that I make this morning, so maybe I complete a mistake or something like that. We have here the probability of the favorite to win the tie. We have the prediction of the win of the favorite, and estimate a very simple model. We have the probability of from the favorite, which is the probability of the favorite to win the tie. The dummy variable in which the home team is the favorite the favorite is home team in the second leg, and this variable integrated with the no AGR. These 2 variables are not significant at all, so that implies that is no difference. So there is no second leg home advantage at all in our data. That's the estimates. I repeat that I did this morning, so maybe I completely miss something, but I think it makes some sense. So the unfairness in the stat times, since the website says explicitly that he was concerned about the unfairness in the stat time. We have here home team in the second leg lost the whole tie, and home team in the second leg won the whole tie. With AGR, we have 50%, so that's really even, because obviously if you have 15 points, some of them have to have 8, and the other one have to have 7, even if they're completely even. But with no AGR, we have something like this that is increasing a lot the number of ties won by the home team in the second leg. So maybe something happen here. And that we get in our estimates. It's important to say that this coefficient, this positive, is not significant, but confidence interval is almost positive. So it was almost significant. This no AGR dummy. But this is not the whole story in the extra time, because we have the penalties. In the penalties, everything is random. Everything is random, and that's what that we have. That we got 50%, almost 50%. So actually, our models. It's true that we only have 25 observations, but nothing is significant. Even nothing is close to be significant. The highest p-value is 0.3. So in the penalties, everything is random, as we know. Almost everything is random, because if you kick first or you don't kick first or whatever, if you choose or you don't choose. But concerning which is the home team on the away team, everything is random. So if in penalties everything is random, and in extra time we have this following contingency table, having the extra time without penalties. Okay, the extra time without penalties. The extra time without penalties, we have a very even result with AGR, and we have a really uneven result with the no AGR. So the no AGR is favoring the home team in the second leg. How? We can see in our estimates that everything is significant. This point. So everything is significant. So having or not having the AGR in charge in the extra time is favoring the home team in the second leg a lot. That's how I already said. So economy is 2 with a 0, because this is something expected by us, and UEFA didn't expect so. So economies beat the UEFA. What about the suspense after removing the AGR? The extra time has increased. If you remove something that is an anti-rule, so the number of ties is going to be higher. It's going to be really higher. We have in only 7% of the matches extra time before, because you need a 0-0, 0-0, 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-1, or something like that. And right now, if you have 2-2, 0-0, is also a extra time. So we have close to 20% of the matches with extra time. So it's a huge increase in the suspense. And that's what we got in our estimates, that this increase is significant in all the models. What about the penalty kick? Given that it was played, the standard, that's the reason that we have only here 59 observations, 15 in the AGR and 45 with the no AGR. So the penalties were really red before, only 2 out of 15, and the penalties is almost as possible as no penalties, because if both teams score the same number of goals, it's going to be penalties. So the number of penalties is going to be increases a lot, and that's that we got in our estimates. Our estimates obviously got this result, especially here in the second quarter of the probability of home. Concerning the goal difference, we see some results, some things. We see that the one difference is almost the same before and after removing the AGR. These two, the 0 and 2 difference, is more likely with no AGR, and is more likely the 3 and 4 with the AGR. So maybe is quite a bit more suspense the no AGR than with the AGR that the bigger that there are bigger LEDs. Our 4 point, the surprise, we have a picture that it seems quite difficult to understand, but it's not. It's not. Here we have the home win probability in the first leg. The home win probability in the first leg in the match. Okay, the home win probability derived from betting odds in the match. And here we have the wins of the home team in the second leg. So obviously, if the probability in the first leg from the home team is really low, the probability to advance in the home team in the second leg is really high. And the opposite is also true. If the probability in from the home team in the first leg is really high, the probability of advancing of the home team in the second leg is really low. So this is quite easy to understand. The blue line is the AGR and the red line is the no AGR. But the point is, here we have that the number of surprises, in the sense that the unexpected winner is more likely to win the tie, emerge from the AGR, and the same happened here. So in some way, the AGR is led to higher surprises. This is exactly the same graph by deciles. So we have the deciles probability of home victory, and we have the wins of the home team probability. You know, with the LA Poly, LA Poly graph in Stata, you have a lot of points you can make bigger or shorter or whatever. And this is, I think, is really nice. And you can see if you put the graph with 20 deciles instead of 10, it's quite easy to get this point, because you get something here in this last deciles or quantiles. So okay, we derive which is the favorite team. From estimate, the favorite team is the home team in the first leg. The probability of winning was higher to 0.45, and the away team is the first leg otherwise. And the favorite wins is pretty much the same. It's something very, very interesting. So if we choose something in our models, our variables controlling this doesn't not. But here is changed, because in this quarter, when the leg was quite even, has more probability to advance to the next round. Obviously, this is here is the probability of the home team is higher. The probability that the favorite wins is higher. And finally, last but not least, some behavioral effects after removing the AGR. We have the result data. So we have 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, so on and so forth, with the AGR and with no AGR. And it looks like pretty much the same, but here with the 1, 0. Actually, I expected to find the opposite, to find that here with the AGR 1, 0, it was a really good result for the home team. I expect that the home team was really happy, but maybe it's because 1, 0 it was a really good result for the home team, that the away team was not happy at all, maybe attack more or whatever. But the point is that with no AGR, this 1, 0 is much more likely. It's 16% instead of 7%. So it's the increase is huge in this result. The result in the second leg is pretty much the same. Obviously, it's not exactly the same, but it's almost the same. The goal difference in the first leg is something that we have already mentioned in before. We have here that with no AGR we have more close eliminatories at all, and with the AGR we have higher 2 difference, 3 difference, 4 difference, and so on and so forth. So maybe with the no AGR it leads to higher suspense. The coming backs, both Daniele and the paper from Juan de Dios and David talk about the coming backs and what we have. Okay, we have here with 0-0, we have whether the home team in the second leg wins the eliminatory. The match. This is the number, the result in the first leg. 0-0 in the first leg, 1-0 in the first leg, 4-0 in the first leg. Okay, or 0-5 in the first leg. So the main difference arises here with the 0-0. With 0-0, it was a not very good result before, and the point is that they win the local team in the first game lost almost always, or no, it's the opposite. The home team in the second leg wins almost quite few times. But right now with no AGR, the percentage of victories is much higher. It's 0.7. So it doesn't, something has changed here. And these 2 points is like we have coming back from 0 from 4 0, and we have also one coming back from 1-4. So this is not really important because it's one leg or something like that. Concerning the coming backs, we have this result with the AGR is more likely with the big difference are able to change it, and the same is true here with the difference are negative, but mainly the difference used to be positive because the home advantage in the first leg, so the home team is leading the tie, and here with the AGR is more likely to win to come back the tie. So some conclusions and some proposals. We can see here that Daniele was almost right for everything. We have a large increase in time decided in extra time and on penalties. This is something for sure. We have almost no effect on total goals scored in regular time. We have the opposite that Daniel expected. We have a moderate increase in the probability that underdog wins the tie. We get the opposite. And we also find little effect on excitement index, and we also find a large reduction in comebacks. So, what UEFA can do? If UEFA wants to increase suspense, more extra times and more penalties, the elimination of AGR is okay, it's fine. You are going to have more penalties and more extra time for sure. If UEFA wants to increase the fairness, should come back the AGR, especially in the extra time. One possibility is, okay, in the regular time there is no AGR rule, but if we want a fair extra time, we need to put once again the AGR rule in the extra time. If UEFA wants to increase the surprise, should come back to the AGR. And concerning the goals, it doesn't matter whether to use AGR, no AGR, or whatever. The number of goals is exactly the same. Finally, this is a very quite silly idea. Maybe the UEFA is going to try it or something like that. But if UEFA wants to increase even more suspense, more extra times, and more penalties, it could change to something like this. One goal left after the regular time does not decide the tie, but the extra time commences with the score carrying over. So if you are 1-0, 0-0, you didn't have won the tie, but you start the extra time 1-0. And moreover, likewise, a goal left after extra time does not decide the tie. The penalty shootout begins with a 1-0 score in favor of the team that was ahead. Each team takes 4 kicks instead of 5 kicks, and that team chooses whether to take the first or second kick or whatever. So in this way, for sure, the suspense is going to be higher. And finally, a quote from Sofia Vergara that I love. Do you know how frustrating it is to have to translate everything in my head before I say it? Do you even know how smart I'm in Spanish? So thank you very much. And that's all I have. And I'm going to quit my presentation and to come back to here.
Thank you very much, Julio. I'm going to give you a team's round of applause. And
I guess Daniele was here.
Yeah, he was. If you unshare your screen as well, because it's currently just a big version of me. If you click the X in the top right
Daniele,
corner.
Daniele, speak, please. Daniele has.
Yeah, go on, Daniele.
Yeah.
I love this paper.
Thank you very much.
Actually, I love it only 80% because, like, my conclusion was not borne out. But
maybe it's a bit more. Maybe it's a bit more because the thing that you don't get is, I think, it's not a very big issue.
Yeah. Actually, I raised my hand by mistake. I'm trying to sort of collect my my thoughts, so I'll pass the pass the hand to other people have their hands raised, and maybe I'll jump in later.
Steve has his hand up. Do you want to ask a question, Steve?
Thank you so much for this talk. I have a comment and a question to Julio. My comment is really to James. I really liked his last slide. Not all studies result in the author being able to make conclusions, but many do. And as a lawyer who's a consumer of sports economics, I would encourage James to take the PowerPoints or ask the authors to resubmit when there are specific policy proposals, and then sometimes to have either part of ROSES or otherwise a conversation about what are the challenges of getting the proposals adopted, who might be in favor, who might be opposed, so that there can be more than just an academic impact of the policy proposals that the unbelievable group of social scientists in your chat have. My question for Julio is whether anybody in Europe is giving consideration to the technique that the National Hockey League uses, and that is to reduce the need for penalty kills, penalty shootouts, by having an overtime period with fewer players. And in the NHL, I believe it's it's normally 5-on-5 with a goalie, and they reduce the number of non-goalies to 4-on-4. In college sports, it's 3-on-3. So my suspicion is that you'd have a lot more overtime goals and goals received if you, say, reduce the number of players on each team to 7 plus the goalie instead of 10 plus the goalie. It'd be wide open, etc. But I'm not a football expert, and there may be reasons not to do it. But I just am curious as to whether that concept has ever been discussed in European football, and then if not, what your just sort of superficial reaction to that concept might be.
Really interesting idea. I'm not an expert in National Hockey League. Some of my American cousins they love Hockey League, but I'm not. I didn't know this rule, and I have to take a look. But in Europe, I never heard that the UEFA or something like this is trying to change the number of players to get more goals. It could be something like that. Maybe it sounds like idea from Piqué, from Gerard Piqué, that he's a former Barcelona player and he's trying to change some rules in soccer, but in other soccer, not professional soccer. But it could be interesting to know what I'm going to put in when I write the paper. I'm going to put this idea for sure in a way to have more suspense in the extra time, or to reduce the number of sort outs. Whether UEFA wants to reduce the number of sort outs, because obviously the sort out is the maximum suspense that you can ever have. So I don't know, but I think it's a nice idea. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for the suggestion on policy proposals as well. Julio, can I get you to click on the X on your Teams window so that you're not sharing your screen?
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It just gives me a big picture of myself when I'm looking at the screen, which I don't know, it's a bit off-putting. Questions and comments.
Daniele is.
Daniele.
So first, I'm going to reply to Steve with sort of an anecdote, which is some of the less young people here may remember the 1990 World Cup was an absolute disaster in terms of the quality of the play. It was like really negative football, very low scoring, and the round 2 match between Germany and Holland was marred by an interesting incident at the end of the first half. How did it go? Like a Rijkaard spit on Völler. So a German player spit on a Dutch player, and they were both sent off. And then, the second half suddenly was 10 versus 10, and you had 3 goals, and, there was like a wide consensus that, this was one of the best halves of the tournament. And so among the proposals that were made at the time, maybe we should sort of reduce the number of people on the pitch because everybody's sort of so athletic, and you'd get sort of more entertainment with sort of fewer players. And then what are they called? What is it called? The board that decides on the rules. They decided to go in the other direction, like abolishing the backward pass to the goalie. So they made other rule changes, which did have some effect. But the idea of reducing the number of players is not completely novel, and so that could work. Another thing that world football experimented with in the late 1990s and early 2000s was the golden goal, which is also like hockey. So the first team that scores in extra time wins the match. And they also tried the silver goal, which was, there are 2 halves to extra time. So if you score in the first half of extra time and the other team doesn't come back, then you're considered the winner. And they scrapped it. They decided that they didn't really like, this sort of sudden death extra time, and they said they'd rather have penalties going back. So there have been sort of some experimentation, and it looks as if people have come to the conclusion that they like penalties, even though it's not. I mean, I don't know if that's really the case, but it is a spectacle, and it is it does increase a lot of it creates a lot of suspense, and it's it's a different thing. So that's about sort of experimenting with different tie-breaking rules. So Julio, just sort of getting back to your paper, I think that just in terms of the presentation, one thing that I would try to do is, especially when you're looking at the effect of winning the second leg, the home team versus the away team, I would just get rid of all the observations where the home away is not random.
It's not random.
Yeah, because that really confounds things, and so then you have to, okay, should I interpret this as 60%? What exactly does this mean? And so when it's random, then you would expect that on average strength between the home and the away team is balanced, and so you'd expect each team to advance 50% of the time if the rule really were balanced. And I think that by some combination of, I think, sheer luck, the extra the away goal rule was such that it exactly counterbalanced the extra 30 minutes played at home by the team playing at home in the second leg with the advantage the away goal rule. I don't think it was deliberate. Anybody ever thought of that? But it basically it almost completely balanced out the probabilities. And if you do it by simulation, it just goes almost exactly 50%. And when you remove the away goal rule, then you clearly give a big advantage to the to the team that's playing at home in the second leg, because they have 30 extra minutes of home field advantage. So I think that was sort of my main comment on the paper.
Yeah, for sure, that's something that we have to check the results, maybe as a robustness check, or maybe as the main result, that to use only the observations from being random. Because even controlling the quality by the betting odds, maybe we are not controlling everything or whatever. So obviously, I prefer to see whether the random is random than to all other stuff. So this is something that we have to do in the near future. So Stefan.
Oh, hi. Oops. Hi, Julio.
Hi.
It's an interesting subject. I'm just going to make an aside about the extra players on the field. I think it's very unlikely that IFAB, the international board, would ever want to consider that, because I think the big difference compared to hockey is that after 90 minutes of play, the players are going to be pretty tired out. The chances of injury, if you put the players to playing that extra time on with fewer players, is going to be seriously enhanced, and I think that's just going to be bad for the game. So I suspect that would be the obstacle. Anyway, but to your paper. So the thing that I'm wondering about, and maybe I missed this, did you include controls for the relative quality of the two teams in the?
Yeah. The probability of home team in the first leg is one of them. In other estimates, we use the probability from the favorite, and in other results, we calculate the entropy from the probability of the home team. So we have the difference in quality in some way.
So were there differences based on the quality of the teams? Did that play a role in determining what the likely outcomes were?
I don't know.
I would just think, interacting these things with the. So one of the things that bothered me about this is, do we have enough data yet to make inferences about this? So we have a large number of games, but we have a relatively small number of seasons, and each of those seasons may be really, different in their own right because of the configuration of teams that happen to be there. So maybe that's why I'm just thinking about interactions with whether these results depend on the relative qualities of the team.
Yeah, but we have already included, because interacting the quality of the team, we have the entropy, the quality of the probability of the home team in the first match, and the probability from the favorite, and we interact them with the no AGR dummy. So in this term, this interaction, get whether there's something changed with the change in the rule concerning this, the uneven, the probability, the difference in quality. In it, there are some models in which make more sense to use the probability of the favorite. For instance, analyzing the probability for the favorite to win the whole leg, it makes more sense to use the probability of the favorite. And if you analyze in the home goals in the first leg, the best is the probability of the home team in the probability of winning on the home team in the first leg in the match. So we have controlled this quality difference in some way, and we have interacted this quality difference with our main variable, which is the no AGR, which is the change in the rule for sure.
But then when you do that, you presumably there's, again, is there an issue with the number of observations, or do you think that's
sometimes yes? For instance, with the penalties or with the extra time, you only have 60 observations. So with the penalties, we only have 25 observations. So you have the number of observations is not very big. But usually you are able to find some significant estimates whether there is something that has changed.
So you don't think that do you think that one needs more time to analyze this, or to get robust results, or do you think this is enough?
I think we have two weird years. The 2 years after COVID, it seems weird for some reason. I don't know. We have to check whether maybe the favorite was not too favorite, or maybe we have 30 matches in one season, and in each season the randomness is playing, and with such a small number of games, the randomness, it could be important, so it could be random, or it could be that these 2 years have been different for some reason of the COVID. So in order to check whether the which is going to be held, we need for sure more years, because after the change we have 2 weird years and 2 maybe normal or maybe weird. I don't know. We don't know which is the years weird. So obviously you have 4 years. Maybe you need like 2-3 more years more. But I think that this paper is going to tell to the people that we need to be focused in this rule. Maybe we need to change a little bit, including the AGR in the extra time, or maybe we don't want. We want to have all penalties, and that's my silly idea that you need to win the tie by 2 goals in order to win the tie. Maybe obviously it's going to be more suspense, but it's not going to be fair. So we have to, obviously, like in most economics things, you have a trade-off between some things. Here you have a trade-off between fairness and between suspense. So maybe some people prefer more suspense, and some people prefer more fairness.
Well, fairness. Who even knows what it is? All right, thank you. Very good, very interesting paper. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Stefan.
Any more questions and comments? I was just thinking about something slightly different, Julio, which is not really a question for you, more kind of a comment, which is, there's discussion already been made about player workload, and this is something that's talked about a lot now. Whereas, there's never any discussion about reducing from 2 games to 1 game to decide these kinds of knockout ties in European football. We have in England, we have the League Cup competition, the secondary cup competition, which used to have away goals and used to have 2 legs. But that was decided it was an inferior competition. We didn't care enough about it. Who cares about going to some Stockport for an away leg? Whereas I wonder whether part of, because obviously there was the COVID time when the quarterfinals and semi-finals were played in, I think it was in Portugal, wasn't it? And so they did away with second legs for 1 season, but then they've returned, and there's never any kind of question that there'll always be 2 legs to decide these ties, when presumably they could be played somewhere neutral. I almost wonder if it is something different, the motivation for having 2 legs in European football, and part of that is it's nice to go to a different country and have some international football.
It could be added. Maybe UEFA doesn't know, but maybe it could be added another competition more quick, and like in Spain in the Copa del Rey, or in England the Copa that is played in the field of the worst team. Maybe it could be a nice other competition. Maybe, I don't know. It could be an idea for the UEFA. I'm going to put new competition, Copa del Rey. It could be nice to have a knockout competition with, I don't know, 64 teams or something like that. Quite. And you have 4 or 5 games or something like that, and it could be nice to watch in this sense. And maybe it's not so boring like the UEFA Champions League, that till quarterfinals I'm not going to watch almost nothing.
Yeah. Dennis.
Dennis?
So Julio, I don't know if this makes any difference or not, but I'm curious if you know if you have the same body of referees before and after, and if you have referees doing games both before and after.
I
To
think
see
that
if there's,
that
I wonder
they are
if there's
going to
different
be
behavior.
not the same, because obviously the referees are getting older and going retire, new referees entry, but are mostly the same. So if
So
you
you might
compare
have,
the referees from the last season to this season, I think referees are going the same, like 94% or something like that.
so you might have referees who handled games with the AGR in place and referees that handled games without the AGR in place. And I wonder if their behavior is different.
It's different. It could be. Maybe the younger referees are more used to have the BAR or something like that, and it could be a nice idea to check to know the referee and to use to make the computations having the same referees or different referees or new referees. Or I put in my things to do. Thank you very much, Dennis. Or not thank you. I don't know. I don't know whether it's a thank you or a thank you with a really small mouth.
Yeah, I don't, my gut tells me it doesn't make any difference, but I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
There's a thought though related to that, which is Julio, the change from 3 substitutions to 5 substitutions happened around the same time as the AGR rule, I guess.
Yeah.
And I also don't know when the
Not everything is the same, because the rules in football are changing. But we in the paper we need to put what things have changed and what things have not changed.
And there's another related thing actually that just springs to mind in saying that, is that at some point in the last 10, 15 years, teams have been allowed one extra change in extra time, right? I don't think that was the case if you go back 20 years. But I don't know when it was changed. But again, that would, I guess, have an impact if you're looking at extra
before
time.
It was very few extra time, so it's quite difficult to get something in the previous with AGR. The extra time was 7% of the games have extra time, so very few.
Yeah. More questions and comments?
So that's all.
Maybe that's all.
Esto es todo, amigos.
One final one though, actually, Julio, is distance travelled. Did you take that into account at all? Does that have an effect on European games?
No, not so far. Not so far. This is a good point. Is not the same travel to Bodo that they are in the North Pole that traveling to Rome or something like that, or from Madrid or to Paris.
Or go to Baku as Newcastle have had to do last week.
Yeah. I put it the distance travel. Okay.
Another thing to do. Yeah.
So thank you very much for all the attendees.
Yeah, thank you, Julio. Really
thank you, Julio. Very interesting.
And we will be back again next week. Next week is Danny Hill from Providence College, presenting Sport as an Alternative Asset Class, Foundations and Conceptual Framework. So that's next week. In the meantime, thanks once again, Julio. Really interesting presentation. Wish you well as you proceed with the paper. And have a great weekend. See you all soon.
Bye to everyone.
Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.
Bye, Julio.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.